So exactly when did cleaning become content? I mean, seriously, at what point did scrubbing your sink become a cultural event with, say, more views than a mid-tier Netflix series?
Honestly, probably the moment that people realized a sparkling oven was more soothing than a mindfulness app. Clean talk is now a mental health intervention, and laundry folding, well, that's become a spectator sport.
Yeah, well, welcome to 2026, folks, where attitudes towards cleaning will continue to disrupt what we find in the aisles. But I guess that the most interesting thing here is that brands didn't make this happen. People did. They took arguably the most boring category in FMCG and turned it into what? Performance art. So cleaning is not just about dirt anymore.
It's like we said on our last episode, people aren't just buying products. They're buying desired mood states. In the cleaning aisle, they're buying calm, they're buying control, when so much else feels out of control. And so in 2026, it could be said that your laundry detergent is now competing with meditation apps.
Well, isn't this going to be a fascinating episode, Caitlin? So we'll be covering the brands, the disruptors, the cultural forces that are rewriting what clean means emotionally, sensorially, socially. And trust me, the stakes are high because we think emotion is the new battleground. Welcome to the Dirt Disruptors.
We often speak about shifting consumer needs on this podcast, and the home care and laundry care categories make compelling case studies. So let's recap. Cleaning used to be a chore, a task, and a checkbox. However, the act of cleaning is quickly evolving into therapy, self-expression, wellness, a performance.
Yeah, so coming up, we're heading into the internet's favorite pleasure zones, from restock porn, yes, where refilling cupboards is now a spectator sport, to ASMR, where sponges sliding across countertops can literally replace therapy. And there's the pure spectacle of all these new disruptors coming on the market, turning kitchen disasters into minor miracles. And the not at all toxic belief that if you haven't color coordinated what lives under your sink, you're doing adulthood all wrong.
Thanks, Andrew. I think I'm going to have to reassess my priorities in life. But I can absolutely see how cleaning represents one of the few places where people can exert a little control over their lives. And it's just one of the reasons why more of us are spending more money on the category.
Yeah, I think there are so many more reasons now, aren't there, why home care is becoming more relevant to people on a daily basis. Increasing crossover, I think, with the beauty sector, for example.
When Dead Cool and Way, that's OUAI, launch detergents that smell like premium fragrance, that's a powerful indicator that things are on the move, right? The scentification of home and laundry care is reaching new heights, and consumers love it, with scent boosters exploding in popularity and delivering incremental sales.
And I think we're seeing home care move in on self-care.
Right. Shiro's Hinoki detergent literally transports you to a Japanese cypress forest.
And remember the probiotic cleaner we featured on our sound episode? Well, this product genre is reframing hygiene as, balance, not sterility.
And that generates fresh interest in the home care category, right? Meanwhile, the value fundamentals are shifting. In fact, private label could be starting to plateau here. Over in the UK, private label supplier McBride has warned own label demand has stabilized after years of inflation-driven growth, indicating that consumers are drifting back to brands, especially for specialist cleaners. Translated, this means that the door is wide open for brands that deliver emotional, sensorial, and experiential superiority.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. Here in the UK, branded home care has been outperforming private label across almost every sector because I think people want brands that promise more than just function now. They want performance and some element of pleasure. They want efficacy and some emotion.
And that's why we had to do an episode about cleaning, right? Because there is opportunity here beyond performance, towards emotion, with the Dirt Disruptors leading the way. To explore how home care is evolving with a completely different lens, Let's say hello again to Megan from our brand strategist Huxley. She's our top decoder in chief. So let's get straight to semiotics here. If the old cues of clean were bleach, citrus, white bottles, lab coat science, what are the emerging cues now? I mean, these days when I browse the laundry aisle, disruptors like Dead Cool, Small, and Levant, they all feel like they're speaking a totally different sensory language.
Yes, you are absolutely right, Caitlin. And before we jump into those sensory cues, we just want to look at how the cultural context is shifting so that we understand the why behind those changes. So, traditionally, the cleaning archetype is the domestic goddess, and cleaning is how she shows her moral value. If she doesn't stick to a rigid routine, the whole family falls apart. She seemingly completes all the chores effortlessly. So, what happens culturally is that floral scents and magical stain removers make her labour invisible. This is a world away from the reality, and luckily, brands are evolving beyond this narrative. Another thing that's going on is that home care is reflecting what adulthood is. So, for many of us, having to do our own laundry was one of those milestones of, oh, I'm an adult now. So, the domestic goddess archetype sets an impossibly high bar in the post pandemic world in particular. People are living alone more than ever. There's a poly crisis, of course, lots of doom scrolling. So, it's a win for a lot of people just to put on clean pants that day. So, what cleaning brands are shifting to do is not to say you're a failure if you don't keep on top of your chores, to saying you did your laundry today, you showed up for yourself, good for you. The moral grounding is having to shift because the fact that the chores are even happening isn't a given anymore.
Now, there's true behavioral, social, and nearly spiritual influences that are all feeding into product design. From South Korea, we've seen the rollout of Hinoki forest detergents. So those are made from the essence of fallen leaves from the Hinoki cypress tree. Now, the brand is leveraging this fragrance to reframe as pure, calm, and most certainly not chemical. Would you say cleaning's becoming a modern ritual of purification?
Yes, you can definitely say that. And you've actually touched on something really interesting there because, particularly, laundry used to just be about others. So it was my husband's shirts, my kids' school uniforms. It's increasingly about my clothes, my body, my identity, my scent. And also because chores are becoming ways of showing up for yourself, the world that occupies is now very close to self care. So the boundaries between home, work, and self are super blurry. That's why these sensory and semiotic cues are blurring together as well. So they work together to signal to someone, I'm a functioning adult, I'm holding it together, which is how cleaning can be an act of meditation.
That type of subliminally delivered reassurance can be huge for a brand. We know that emotional reward can strongly drive consumer loyalty. So if you look at brands like Levant Collective or Shiro, they sell an emotion before they ever sell efficacy. In semiotic terms, are we seeing cleaning brands shift toward designing for feeling or mood states like calm, capability, restoration, identity?
Yes, they are. And we can see that if we do some quick analysis of some of the brands that you've mentioned. So we immediately see very minimalist aesthetics across the kind of Gen Z millennial spectrum, if you know what I mean. So the Dead Cool and Way collab, so that's between a fragrance brand and a personal care brand. Um, their packaging looks like a very functional refill style canister. It's pastel blue, it's covered in internet style aesthetic stickers, screams Gen Z, but its fragrance notes even include champagne, and that communicates this is adult, this is for you, and doing your laundry is actually a precious indulgence. Lavant is then the millennial answer to this. So their plant-based laundry detergent range is in neutral tones of cream, beige, and a latte brown, with a statement gold embossed brand name down the side and sculpturesque curved bottle designs that invite you to grab hold of them. Shiro is yet more minimalist. It's all white pack, just has the brand name, product, and tea-inspired fragrance very sort of discreetly labeled on the front of pack. While all these brands are tapping into the aestheticization of home care through borrowing cues from personal care, they reinforce the emotional experience that cleaning now is. These brands aren't trying to make laundry fun. They're creating a grounding ritual that restores a sense of dignity and control, which is why this adult minimalism works so well.
How would you advise CPG brands wanting to tap into this cultural shift you've described?
I would say to avoid aestheticizing cleaning to the point that it's just a kind of social media driven performance. It has to stay grounded, has to be mindful in the moment for me and not for others. So avoiding claims or illusions of effortlessness. From a product design perspective, this could look like pumping or dispensing that offers resistance in order to reward the intention and the effort of cleaning, or scents that are familiar yet refined in a way that's compatible with your skin or your home ambience and your personal fragrance, and sounds that are soft and muted, nothing sharp or high pitched.
Megan, that was brilliant. Thank you for helping us see that the battle for the future of this category isn't about dirt. It's about true meaning.
My pleasure. Always happy to be here.
So we've been name dropping a number of dirt disruptors across this episode, brands that seek to reframe the role of cleaning products in our lives, often blurring the lines between home care and personal care, for example. Now, to find out if the product experience matches these aspirations, we set Matthew Barrett, sensory specialist at MMR Research, to work. Matthew, you've been in the lab, you've cleaned your house, no doubt, from top to bottom. Did any of these brands match the hype for you?
It was a really fun assignment, Andrew. Most people are normally tidying up because they've got friends or family coming around, but I did it because a podcast told me to. So it's certainly something to add to the CV. But unusually for this one, I actually had time to kind of sit with these products, to use them, again and again, especially, with Christmas just being and gone, to see what kind of held up, what faded, and then really what kept surprising me.
So your house must be pretty spotless by now. Do you want to tell us what the contenders were?
So first up, we had Kinfill. And with this brand, it's the aesthetic kind of lifestyle choice. It promises to turn everyday chores into kind of a calm sensorial ritual. So, think about design-led bottles, elevated scents, and the suggestion that wiping surfaces might also double as self-care. And then next up, I had Small. And this is kind of a brand that believes cleaning should be, cheaper, simpler, and more planet-friendly. One of their kind of points of difference is that Small products can be delivered through your letterbox. And then finally, I tested out products from the Green Cow. And as you'd expect from their name, they're plant-based, they're eco-conscious. How does their product experience deliver?
Well, that's why you're here, Matthew. So did any of these brands go beyond your expectations?
Honestly, Andrew, yes. And I think one brand that did this particularly well was Kinfill. Whilst it does convey this kind of premium, almost ritualistic feel, it really delivers on the experience. When we think of the everyday cleaning products, they're all shoved in the cupboard and hidden away. But with Kinfill, they're kind of saying, look at us, look at our bottles. It's this world of Instagrammable. That's what Kinfill, I think, are trying to play to.
Yeah. Okay, that's the aesthetics. Matthew, what about the action? Come on, spray something.
Okay, so what I've got here is the Kinfill multi-surface cleaner spray. So I'm going to spray that now.
Nice.
And I think what I notice here is how soft and light that sound of the spray is.
Yeah.
It's really playing into this kind of ritualistic, almost meditative space. And even when you spray the bottle, how kind of effortless this spray action is. Again, I think with a lot of multi-surface sprays, it's kind of more of an intense hit. But what I'm finding here with Kinfill is that it's kind of slowly kind of blooming and aerating and coming to the room, and now it's getting stronger. Okay? And I think what I really do notice is that I've had a lot of time to sit with these products. The sound of the spray is just so kind of smooth and soft. I think of the other brands that I've used, and there's a bit I would almost describe it as raspiness in the spray, but with Kinfill here, I'm kind of just getting this smooth, soft, meditative state.
More sort of perfumery.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And even how effortless the spray action is, it allows you to stay in this kind of state. There is friction, but it's very smooth. It's really kind of just very one motion. And again, I compare this to the other sprays I've used where it feels a little more clunky.
So do you think they've got that about right between the idea of mindful, high-end, but also you're putting the effort in and therefore going to get the result?
I think they've really got the balance right, and they've really thought of every last detail.
Okay, that's Kinfill. Let's move on to Schmoll. What products have we got?
Sure. So Small actually offer a free trial for first-time users. So I was able to use their laundry capsules, their dishwasher tablets, and then also their multi-purpose spray that I've got here.
Been very busy.
So I think if we start with the laundry capsules, I think a selling point here for them is that, you can get the same level of efficiency at 20 degree rather than, a 30 or 40 degree. The only interesting thing here is that I found was that they're fragrance free. So I think whilst it delivers on that efficacy of cleaning, and there's no fragrance cue to signal that as well.
Yeah, and that's often where the emotional payoff comes from, isn't it? But more than that, it's often an assurance of clean.
I think with Small, their emotional kind of hook really comes in their copy and packaging. They've got things like on the bottom of their bottle, which says, thanks for checking out my bottom.
Charming.
Or, on their boxes, they encourage recycling and say things like, use me for cat litter, or, your cat litter tray. So I think that's where the difference kind of lies here between kind of Kinfill and Schmoll.
Yeah. And the performance across the dishwasher tablets and everything else, that was satisfying, yeah?
Yeah, they've got this kind of bold citrus burst, I think, with their cleaning spray, and their, dishwasher tablets give off this kind of lemony scent.
Very good. Now, third contender, the Green Co. So this brand, presumably plant-based.
Yeah.
So is it doing anything different?
I think different in terms of they're simple, and I'd say they're very true to themselves. They do deliver this experience that they promise. It's minimalistic, it's practical, and it's fuss-free eco, really, at the end of the day. The scents are soft, it's clean linen, and again, they lean into kind of a citrus hit with their dishwasher tablets, but it's subtle. It's comforting, but it's not exactly thrilling.
So, Matthew, if you were suddenly in the money, you're a big investor, which of these brands would be most deserving of your cash?
It may not come as a surprise based on what I've been saying today, but I think Kinfill feels like the clearest leap into what the future of cleaning could be.
Mm-hmm.
It's premium, it's distinctive, it's sensorily rich. And I said, it sits perfectly well in this discovery era where people want products to feel good, not just function well.
Yeah. It's not cheap though, is it? It's got a premium.
Yeah. It's how they're going to get that initial buy-in from consumers, because their fragrance truly is, impactful. It lingers, it elevates the room. It quietly changes that emotional tone of whatever task you're doing. They've got strong design codes and a ritual that I think really could build, real loyalty.
Thank you, Matthew. We've loved your report. It's clear, I think, that the future of cleaning is not just cleaner cleaning. It's what you've been saying about sensory maximalism, emotional payoffs. Matthew, don't be surprised if you get another assignment from us soon. Thank you very much.
For sure. I'll be ready. Thank you very much for your time, Andrew.
Right, it's time for our regular plunge into the parallel universe that is social media. Here with us once again is digital marketing specialist Shania from the Together Agency, a company that helps brands connect across social media platforms.
No 2 days are ever the same, Caitlin.
So from what I've seen, Shania, Gen Z is making cleaning aspirational.
Yeah, forget messy bedrooms and student stereotypes. This generation has turned cleaning into content, therapy, identity, aesthetic culture, and a well-being ritual.
Aliens from outer space could land here and wonder why on earth humans are watching videos of other humans scrubbing tiles, and for that matter, so do I.
So, I guess this all started with the now infamous Mrs. Hinch, the original cleaning influencer. Mrs. Hinch basically invented the idea that cleaning could be cool, and she did this by turning mundane tasks into quick-cut, dopamine-rich content. And here she is speaking on BBC Radio recently.
Do you really love cleaning?
I
Mrs.
do.
Hinch?
I do.
Do you do?
I do.
And what's your favourite thing to clean?
Oh, that's a hard one, that. That is hard. I do like a good toilet scrub, believe it or not. I actually do.
Do you?
Do you
I
put
think
foam down there?
Yeah, I put all sorts down there. Do you know why? Because I feel like it's that quick, instant
Gratification.
Yeah, and also I
How
have
far
3
down
young
do you
boys.
go? I mean, you
Elbow
How
deep.
low can you go? Yeah, no. I do. I just love a cleaning a toilet. I can't lie. And I've got 3 boys, so it's very messy.
Tough one to follow. So, show me a Gen Z home and we're into Sunday reset territory, right?
You know your stuff, Caitlin. And yes, TikTok is awash with reset videos where bed sheets are changed, fridges are restocked, counters are wiped, candles are lit, mine's reset. It's basically self-care disguised as chores. And what these videos tell us is that Gen Z see the link between a clean space and reduced anxiety, a sort of better week ahead narrative. Here's user Noelle Martinez to explain the benefit of cleaning, where she literally says cleaning is her therapy.
Never ever go to bed with a messy house, a messy room, or last night's dishes everywhere. This is so random, but I feel like I've noticed such a big difference in my mental state when I wake up with last night's mess, yesterday's to-do list still out. Put your stuff away, even if it's taking like 10 minutes at the end of your day just to clean up and tidy things a little bit. Do that, because I promise you, waking up with yesterday's problems will just make you stressed and it will not start your day off well.
What else are influencers saying about home care that we should try and understand?
Made for this podcast, Ida is becoming a cleaning phenomenon on TikTok with regular ASMR-style cleaning content. Her page is basically sensory cinema. Foam swirls, spray textures, soft cloth glides. Time to get those special audio headphones on.
Regular listeners will know that we recently covered product soundscapes on this podcast. It's fair to say that there will be some categories where intentional sound design has particular importance. Home care is definitely one of them, right?
Without a doubt. It's one of the reasons why some cleaning brands lend themselves perfectly to TikTok demonstrations. The other reason is, of course, because home care products can help creators and influencers present a before and after, the simplest form of emotional payback. Here, Ida shares the benefits of cleaning emotionally.
If my house is clean,
you feel better.
What my brain is like, I can think clear.
Yeah.
When I have like a super clean house, and also if I feel like I'm struggling mentally, I clean. It's something about putting that energy into something
like
else.
Organization.
Yeah.
Like if I get my house organized, if I get this organized,
Absolutely.
I can get my mind organized.
Absolutely.
Meanwhile, user We Built Our Home claims that cleaning gives her that good-to-be-home feeling.
Cleaning our home is a form of self-care. It's almost even therapeutic for me. Perspective is everything. And even if you hire someone to do it for you instead, it's still self-care. When I walk into a clean home, I feel less stressed and more relaxed. It feels good to be home. I try different cleaning items to see what I like best and what has good results, and I have all of the links to my favorites saved to an entire cleaning category that I can send to you.
So our homes are our sanctuaries, perhaps more than they've ever been.
Yeah, which is why TikTok is finding a place for that colour coordination Andrew mused about earlier. Here, influencer Tabby Bell Home has started an aesthetic arms race with colour-coordinated restocks and pantries. And warning, we can only play a short excerpt, or your head might explode.
The concept of a coloured restock would definitely put a Victorian child into a coma.
But you guys should know the drill by now. I'm a wannabe American TikToker, so things like this is just the normal around here.
As is having a glass decanter for your fabric softener, obviously.
That has got a tendency to get a bit of a mouldy lid, so learn by my mistakes. And today, after reading all your suggestions, I am going to do a yellow restock.
Just in case that isn't obvious by
because
now.
I'm saving orange to do a big autumn restock, so stay tuned for that. Because I don't know about you guys, but I'm so bloody excited for the cozier months.
I'm also going to give you guys a bit of a reality here and expose myself. I really don't like honey. I actually can't stand the thing. But I know it's so satisfying on these restocks.
Who said cleaning videos were calming? But there was a lot going on there. Less about removes 99% of dirt, more about here's how clean feels. Shania, this has been an inspiration. As soon as we wrap this episode, I'm off to color coordinate my sock drawer.
I'll send you some TikTok advice on that too. Happy cleaning!
Well, as the Z Factor demonstrates, home care is being treated to a glow up. It's no longer about killing germs, is it? It's about hacks, before and after drama, and creators who, let's face it, these days feel more trusted than brands themselves. So how does a global giant like Unilever actually show up in this world? To find out, I am delighted to be joined by Amara Isifo. She leads digital and social marketing for Unilever's home care brands based in South Africa. Amara, welcome to the Dirt Disruptors. As I sit in this freezing studio, I believe you're in the middle of your summer. Is that correct?
Thank you for having me. And yes, that's 100% correct. It is very warm and sunny in Durban in South Africa.
And tell us, what are the brands that you look after day to day?
I look after all of South Africa's favorite home care brands, and that includes our very favorite Sunlight, the likes of Handy Andy, known as in the UK as Sif. We also have Omo, we have Sunlight dishwashing liquid, as well as Domestos. And our very first social platform, which is called Cleanopedia.
How do you motivate creators so that they are excited about your products and they're genuinely engaged?
I love what you said. I think the category has absolutely had a glow up. And I think that comes with the change in consumers, the shift from millennials to Gen Zs. What Gen Zs have really brought is that they've really showcased their lives online. And it's become such a normal thing to showcase, like cleaning a home, keeping your spaces clean, and how it helps mental well-being. So that really changed the game for us, I think, in the industry, that cleaning is not really seen as this chore anymore. It's seen as this space that consumers really want to invest in from a product perspective. So it's really about understanding their needs and how they go about cleaning their homes. And all our innovations have really been geared to understanding that consumer behavior.
Your environment, though, online, there's a lot of talk right now about the onset of so-called AI slop. So how are you starting to think about how Unilever and its original content sits within this environment of AI?
So you mentioned it earlier. I think we've taken a big jump into investment into being more human. And in order to do that, we had to use normal people, and those are creators, whether that's the nano creator, which is like your everyday person showcasing their life online, or your more macro creators, which are more well-known, established, more like influencers. And being more human allowed us to be more authentic, to kind of get our products out there and break out from all this clutter that you're seeing online, like you've mentioned. There's so much content out there. So we've kind of integrated our brands into daily lives through creators that has really brought our brands at the forefront of social content.
And you operate because I've done my homework here, Mara, you operate a SASSY framework, SASSY standing for science, aesthetics, sensorials, said by others, young, spirited. How does this all work in practice for you?
I have to say, it wouldn't be Unilever if we didn't have a really cool acronym. As we move more to this social first world, as we call it, I think the SASSY framework was really just a guideline and a filter to really get our marketeers at the forefront of what it means to run brands in the social space. So we had to develop this framework so that we really have this, like I said, this guideline or this filter to really be like a checklist to ensure that we are getting consumers or content out there in the right manner, so it doesn't feel forced, it doesn't feel archaic. And the SASSY framework has really helped us really dial up like our credibility in that way, because it ticks all the boxes, actually. It speaks to our science and our credibility that Unilever is backed by. Aesthetics, that's kind of where social stems from, right? Aesthetics led by Instagram. Sensorials is a massive trend. I think brands like Rode do it really well, and like bringing food content into like spaces like skincare, like that is massive. So we really needed to also in-house that and make sure that we're part of that journey.
So we did an episode recently called Breaking the Sound Barrier. Do you increasingly use sound in your socials as well?
Absolutely. It's huge. I think Clean Talk changed the game for us in totality as a category. I think sensorials played a big part when it was in the Instagram space. I mean, visually, But when it came to TikTok, sound became that much more important. So, and especially for home care products, I think a lot of our products make a lot of sounds. So we dial that up quite a lot now in our content.
Now let's talk about Cleanopedia, because this doesn't feel like a brand platform at all. But I believe that Unilever is behind it. Yes. So it's more like, let's say, a collective where people will go if they need to get stuff done, they need advice. So what role does this actually play in your ecosystem?
What we realized as cleaning content became more important, or where we saw creators and authentic voices were becoming more trusted versus brands, I think that's no surprise, right? But what we saw is that our content from a brand page perspective wasn't getting that much engagement and awareness organically. And we saw this gap in the fact that content is being searched for online in terms of how to clean my air fryer, how to take a stain out of a white t-shirt, etc. And the brands weren't speaking that. They weren't speaking the solution, they were speaking the product. So we created essentially a service for the consumer. Cleanopedia is all about the consumer. We service the consumer in understanding what they're searching for, what they're looking for on a day-to-day, whether it's cleaning information, cleaning tips, tricks, etc. And we create content that services what they're searching for. So like I said, Clean Talk really changed the game for us, because now we actually know exactly what they're searching for, and we will service and bring those answers to them with the right products that is backed by science.
We've talked about South Africa. Now, this is a market, of course, with its very own cultural characteristics. How do you sort of balance this global brand systems with this local creator culture, especially in a space as personal as home and hygiene?
We 100% believe that our marketing has to follow local cultural insights. And I think South Africa is very, very important because it's also so diverse and there's so many cultures within our country. So while our brands are global, we essentially take that and we localize based on insights in South Africa. And a big part of that is actually using specific creators to showcase these cultural insights through using our products.
And while we were in the green room earlier, Amara, you told me that occasionally you like to take the odd risk. And let's face it, there's one thing worse than being talked about in this world. So tell us about maybe something that you've done that was perhaps slightly more risky, but paid off for you.
So yeah, I think I give my team a few little heart attacks every now and then. But when I was working on a campaign on Handy Andy, we came across a cultural insight, which was around how the Handy Andy cream, multipurpose cream, was being used. And that was on sneakers. And I couldn't just leave this insight. Like I had to do something with it. So we had chosen a few creators and made some custom designs on Nike Air Force sneakers and sent it with this product to creators. And we didn't really have to tell them much. They kind of just knew what to do with it, right? They had to clean their shoes with it. And this caused so much social content and so much engagement and conversation around, yes, like obviously we use the multipurpose cream to clean our shoes. This has been done in our family for years or in our community for years. And it's so funny because at the time, it was such a big risk because one, our product is known to clean surfaces. That is what R&D has approved. That is what legal has approved, that we say from a community perspective. However, all it took was a little bit of guts and a little bit of believing in the consumer insight. That eventually what came out of it was that the next year, the global team had decided that they're putting that use on our TVC.
I do love it when brands do things like this because it's kind of saying, we kind of know what you're up to and we like it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it builds that connection, doesn't it? Well, Amara, it's been thrilling to sort of see how this works in practice. We've often talked on the pod about the importance of creators and influencers to build brands these days. So it's been great to get that insight from you. It is clear that Unilever is disrupting the rules of the game itself to ensure that its brands stay current. And we can't wait to see what you're going to do next.
Amazing. Keep your eyes out. We're always disrupting.
Goodbye, Amara.
Thank you so much. Bye.
So where does this all leave the cleaning category? Because after everything we've heard today, the rituals, the TikTok therapies, the scientific leaps, it's clear that the home and laundry care categories are standing on the edge of something much bigger than simply removing dirt. We're kind of watching a transformation play out now. And of course, we all want products that actually work. But that's become a hygiene factor.
I can tell you've been saving that one up all day, haven't you?
I have, yes. But back to the plot. The real battlefield, the place where brands will rise or disappear, is shifting to something far more human.
Because clean has become a mood, a mindset, a reset, a way of saying, I've got this, even when everything else feels overwhelming. That's why scent boosters are booming. It's why Hinoki forest detergents are growing. It's why Gen Z film themselves folding towels.
So here's our podcast provocation. If home care was only about dirt removal, then the disruptors wouldn't be winning share, would they? But they are winning share because many of them are touching something deeper. They're offering calm or identity, expression. And meanwhile, AI is set to automate some of the hard stuff like the dosing, the detecting, the optimizing. And this will leave us humans to care more about how the experience actually smells, looks, feels, and what it says about us.
So, will you keep talking about 99% germ removal? Or will you design for the parts of clean that people actually feel? Will you create products that disappear into routines or rituals that people proudly broadcast online? Will you sell function or meaning? Because the brands that own the future will be the ones who understand that clean is no longer just an outcome, it's a state of being.
So next time you walk down those cleaning aisles, pause for a second, really look at those bottles and ask yourself, is this product promising me performance or is it promising me peace? Is it lifting dirt or is it lifting my mood? The brands bold enough to step into that emotional, sensory, symbolic space, well, they'll be the ones that redefine what clean means for a new generation.
If you've enjoyed our fresh, streak-free take on all things clean, don't forget to like, share, and bookmark this perfectly packaged podcast.
You bet, because every episode we will cut through the grime, scrub away the faff, and leave you with insights that really shine.
In fact, independent tests confirm this podcast has more insights per episode than any leading competitor.
So from 2026, if you need to clean up your thinking, freshen up your strategy, and eliminate 99% of bad ideas, make sure you choose Impact Makers.
How do you think that went, Andrew?
Could have been a bit more polished.